Okay. Yeah, flying solo tonight. Just till my football show. Chris, you can join me for that. Good evening, Slowpoke, Delana, Busy, Native, E-Man, JJ, Triple. Yeah, not my finest moment. We're just going to move on and get back to how we normally do things. Hi, Candace. Nope, Jack and Ginger. Yeah, it's kind of blue. It's weird. It wasn't blue the other night. Did I watch Neely tonight? No, I was working. I missed him. And then I had to rush home and try and put together some pictures for the show. I'm sure he had luck because he always does when he goes live. Hi, Cajun. Anyway, so we're gonna have a quick one tonight. I want to discuss. I'm going to discuss Halloween 1 and 2. Two excellent movies for your Halloween weekend. Delana says he did. I'm telling you, that guy he can't go wrong on his live streams. Maybe I need to talk to him, figure out a secret. Oh, I don't know, Candace. I'm sure they'll be around. Jeepers Creepers 3 is on TV. What channel? Yeah, sorry, James. But yeah, how about them Eagles? Oh my God. Death Note. If you're talking about the live action one, it was awful. The animated is fantastic, though. Yep, 2-arm bandito. We got our Magic 8 Ball on hand. And E-Man, I agree. I don't like watching censored horror movies either, but I appreciate that like AMC is like the only channel that really devotes any airtime to the holiday anymore. They just hold it for safekeeping. Yeah, just till next time when you can pick it up. That's what I tell myself too. Oh yeah, the new Jigsaw came out today, didn't it? I'm sure we'll rent it here. Hello, bad old mama. Yeah, you know what? Ash versus Evil Dead. I've heard good things. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But that's okay because that just means I can binge watch it later. Sci-fi tomorrow at 8 Central. It's already on Sci-fi, huh? That can't be good. The kittens are good. Thank you for asking. Hello, Paul from Wisconsin. Okay, Becca. Maybe next time. They had Phantasm Ravager already on Sci-Fi. Did you watch it? Was it any good? Delana. I don't know how long we're going to keep them, but they've got to go soon. The longer they stay, the more attached you get. And we already have a zoo, so oh, you didn't watch it yet? Well, if you do, let me know. Mosquito. Do not think I'm going to watch that. Yeah, Delana, I guess they're getting fixed in 2 weeks. For any gamers in chat, I have Super Mario Odyssey waiting for me when I get done with tonight's chat, so I'm pretty excited. Hey, Wayne, what's up? Okay, who's ready for the breakdown of Halloween 1 and 2? No, I never saw the Entity from the 80s. It doesn't even sound familiar, which is weird. Hi, Tracy. All right. Let's get scary. Sound check. It's good, right? That's right. Turn the lights off. Get in the mood. I really need to make an effort to watch these two movies over the weekend. All right, let's do it. So let's talk about Halloween 1 and 2. I wasn't expecting that. I have the original soundtrack going. And we just heard Michael Myers kill his sister. Yeah, Wayne. Classics for sure. I mean, just start with the cover. That's a great cover design. And I love the tagline, "The night he came home." I get scared of bugs in my shadow. Anyway, come on. This is a classic right here. You've got the jack-o'-lantern, looks all scary with the knife striking down. Just great design. Cool ads. So, Halloween stars, of course, Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasance, rest in peace, and basically opens up with a scene with a young Michael Myers POV shot of him killing his sister. No explanation for anything, just the kid puts on a mask, he's got a clown suit on, he grabs a knife from the kitchen, walks upstairs and kills his sister. Then we fast forward 15 years into the future. Hey, what's up, Sizzlin? I mean, just look at that kid. So we go to the future, and Donald Pleasance, who plays Dr. Loomis, he's pulling up with a nurse to the sanitarium, and some of the inmates are wandering about. He goes up to the gate to try and find out what's going on, and Michael Myers actually takes the car and escapes. From there, we go to Haddonfield, and we're introduced to Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, and then her friends, Annie and Linda, I believe. And this all takes place on Halloween. They're walking home from school, talking about boys, talking about whatnot. And Laurie's going to have to babysit tonight. Linda's trying to figure out how she can get her boyfriend over so she can bang him out. And Annie's also working on some stuff. Cool ads. Well, let's not forget that Michael Myers escaped the sanitarium. And for reasons we don't know yet, he's kind of stalking Laurie. Great shot here, him standing right next to this bush wall. Why is he watching Laurie? I don't know. Too scary by. Who would watch the kids, though? I love it. Speaking of the kids, here's our kids, Lindsay and Tommy. Anyway, fun fact, when I was doing a little research on this movie, it's too bad Joe and Manny aren't here, because as it turns out, Lindsay, they might actually be familiar with. Apparently she's on the Real Housewives, so maybe they recognize this person. But back in 1978, she was stalked by Mr. Michael Myers. So, as expected, Laurie and Annie are doing their babysitting thing. They're across the street. Laurie's babysitting Tommy. And Annie's babysitting Lindsay. And Annie asks Laurie to take Lindsay so she can hook up with her boyfriend. And as you can expect, Michael starts picking them off one by one. Busy Lady was familiar. Kyle Richards. Yep, that's young Lindsay. So here we see Linda getting taken care of. I believe this is Paul. Pretty nasty kill. Gets stuck up against the wall. That just shows the brute strength of Michael Myers. Needless to say, after all of her friends have been picked off, Laurie starts to get worried. She can't reach anyone on the phone. The kids actually saw Michael Myers, but she doesn't believe them at first. And she goes to check things out across the street. She discovers Annie's body, and then Michael Myers appears. get to the shower scene. There's no shower scene. Visibly distraught by finding her best friend laid out on a bed. Pretty wicked scene. She goes up against the wall, and then this is just great direction, cinematography. Michael's mask appears from the dark doorway. And the chase begins. Just imagine you're like a 17-year-old girl babysitting some kids on Halloween Eve, and you find your friend's dead, and then this guy appears. I mean, this movie is really what set the slashers. It is good. During the struggle, Laurie does manage to take off Michael's mask, and he's got a pretty grotesque-looking face. Nothing out of control like Jason Voorhees, but he definitely doesn't look like a normal person. So she escapes from this house, runs back to the house that she's babysitting Tommy at, and Lindsay. And Dr. Loomis, who's actually in town trying to find Michael Myers, who escaped, sees the kids running down the street away from that house. So he actually joins up with Laurie and Michael. Just in the right place at the right time, I guess. Yeah, very scary. Very scary. Anyway, so during Laurie's struggle with Michael Myers, Loomis appears and he shoots Michael Myers. Michael Myers goes flying off the balcony, lands on the ground. Outside of the balcony, and she says to Loomis, "Was that the boogeyman?" And he says, "Yes, I believe it was." And then when they go out onto the balcony to see the body, all we see is the imprint from where he landed in the grass, and he's gone. And that's how the movie ends. If you haven't seen the original Halloween, I highly recommend it. Hi, Liz. Welcome. No slots tonight, Paul. I highly recommend it. Jamie Lee Curtis, the original Scream Queen. Donald Pleasant's fantastic. And it should be noted, this really is the best mask in all the series. They never used the same mask. And in some of the films, the mask was just absolutely terrible. I'm not sure why they couldn't get a replica or make a replica. It's very noticeable. Yeah, Wayne, that's a fair point. I never understood why he can't be killed if he's human. He definitely gets put through the ringer a little bit. And there's not really an explanation. But that's okay. I mean, we got to suspend disbelief a little bit. All you have to do is use your imagination and think, it's possible for a human who's that disconnected and that driven to maybe shake off some things that would put us down. Yeah, because if they kill him, no part 2, 3. Exactly. I mean, that's the gist of it. And we just need to rely on our imagination, I guess. Good point, KJ. It's just, he's made of evil. Cool Guy Pasadena says, "Hi, Bill. Good evening, everyone. The 1978 original Halloween was filmed in South Pasadena, which is where I live." That's awesome. Candace, I'm watching It Only Comes at Night. We watched that here a couple weeks ago. It was good. Yeah, Robert, I didn't mention that, but yeah, it was a Captain Kirk mask. It was a William Shatner mask. And for some reason, um, they could never get one that looked like the first one, and it's the best, and it's really not even debatable. You'll see. I mean, put this in your mind. So when we move on to part 2, you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, Halloween 2. The cover's not quite as iconic, but still very good. Simple. They incorporate the jack-o'-lantern again. Bold lettering, Roman numerals, same color scheme. It's perfect. Really perfect. So this movie takes place. Yeah, let me get my music going again. This movie takes place directly following the events of Halloween 1. There's a couple of nitpicks here, like Laurie looks totally different. She's got now a way different hairstyle, but if it takes place on the same evening, why does her hair look different? I mean, I don't know. Maybe get your hairstylist to do the exact same thing that was in the last movie. But other than that, it's cool. It captures the same feel of that night. So Halloween 1 and 2 take place over the same evening, which is really cool. I mean, most movies and sequels don't do that type of thing. So we kind of open up with Dr. Loomis is working with law enforcement to try and find Michael, who's now missing. And we get to see Michael doing a little stalking throughout his neighborhood, kind of the anti-Mr. Rogers. So once again, Loomis and Laurie are separated. He's with law enforcement, and Laurie is en route to the hospital. She did get a little bit injured at the end of Halloween 1. So now she's at the hospital in Haddonfield. And they kind of have a skeleton crew working. It's very late at night, Halloween. They've got their ER open, a doctor, some nursing staff, a couple of ambulance drivers. Nothing much. Which makes the perfect setting for the sequel. Because it wouldn't be as cool if, Michael was in a well-lit hospital trying to get to Laurie, amongst hundreds of people. So here she is, a little bit hysterical on the table. Here's the head nurse and the nursing staff checking her out, calling a doctor who happens to be drunk because it's Halloween. I like the old nurse bonnets. Yeah, pretty cool looking. Here's Jimmy, one of the ambulance drivers. He's really doing his best to look after Laurie. He knows her, like she's friends with his sister or something from school, and he heard about what happened, and he kind of keeps an extra eye on her, if you will. You might remember this young man from The Last Starfighter. Here's Jimmy and Bud. He's the perverted ambulance driver that sexually harasses everyone and tries to hook up with all the nurses. Don't worry, he'll get his. So, of course, while Michael Myers is roaming through the neighborhood, he learns, I think through television, possibly radio, that Laurie's been transported to the hospital. So, of course, he's going there. Yeah, is that an ashtray? The 80s were a weird time, huh? Or technically, this should be 78, since it's the same night as the first. So Michael learns where Laurie is, and he heads to the hospital. Now, we still don't know why Michael is after Laurie in particular at this point in the movie. Pulling up Halloween 2 soundtrack, because why not? A little more synthesized, less piano this time around. All right, Jimmy, you're a good guy. Bud, not so much. So Michael goes to the hospital, and what do you think happens? He starts planning his attack. Now, while Dr. Loomis is with law enforcement trying to find Michael, they find a drunk guy roaming the streets with a Michael Myers mask. One of the police cars crashes into him. He gets set ablaze, and they have to take him to get dental records done. And they learn, in fact, was not Michael Myers. Take a look at the corpse here, the charred corpse. Here's Michael doing his thing, making his way around the hospital. He's got to take out the staff one by one before he gets to Laurie. And this is what the hospital looks like. I mean, Laurie's there. She's a patient. But there's very few people on staff, and most of the lights are out in the hospital. I mean, Jesus. If I was staying in a hospital, I'd be like, can you turn the fucking lights on, please? So Michael gets to work. Here's the doctor on duty. Sorry, buddy. Here's the nurse that Bud managed to get naked in the hot tub. Michael turns up the water and dips her head in, and actually just gives her severe burns on her face and kills her that way. Pretty brutal kill. Pretty good. Here's the security guard. Take a look at Michael's mask. You can see the huge difference. So the hair is much lighter. You can see the eyebrows. It looks more round. The hair's kind of slicked back, where before it was just kind of wavy and messy. And also you can see his eyes, which I don't like. Like in the first part, you really couldn't see his eyes very well. It was just dark, right in the eye holes. No bueno. It's still okay, but I mean, it really stands out, especially when they're saying this is the same night. Laurie and Michael should look the same, but we'll let it go. So, after Michael's taken out the staff and he's ready to track down Laurie, there's a scene here with Dr. Loomis and someone from the sanitarium. And she's informing Dr. Loomis that the judge ordered all files on Michael Myers to be opened. And what they learned was there was another sister besides the one that Michael killed 15 years ago. And it was Laurie Strode. Well, now Loomis knows exactly where to go. It all makes sense. Why did he kill Laurie's friends that night and try to kill her? And we know where Michael Myers is going to be. He's going after Laurie. So Loomis gets in the car and hightails it to the hospital. It's a cool scene. It's a really cool scene. So Loomis heads back to the hospital. And I should mention, Laurie's been in bed, and based on the drugs and stuff that she was given, she's kind of been doing a little dreaming, not really been awake and aware of what's going on. So that's why she kind of slept through most of everything. But now she's awake. And she knows some shit's fucked up, and she's trying to get away. You get another intense chase scene with Laurie and Michael Myers. And she's having a hard time walking. She can't run. So that really adds to the suspense. You'll just have to watch to see, like, she gets out of some tight spots, just barely. Very suspenseful, very good. So Loomis appears. He draws his gun and he actually gets stabbed with a scalpel. He drops the gun and Laurie picks it up and somehow manages to shoot him in both of his eye holes. Doing so essentially blinds him. He can't see. They have the blood dripping down from his eyes. So while he can't see, they turn on some flammable gas that's in some tanks in this operating room. Might just be oxygen, I'm not quite sure. And Loomis hits his lighter and Michael is lit ablaze. And he's, he sits there on fire. They believe that he's dead, because why wouldn't you? And the movie basically ends. You just get to see Michael's body being charred to a crisp. I'm glad they made sequels, because I think they all have some redeeming qualities, and some of them are actually pretty good. But these two really stand far above the rest of the series. And if you're only going to watch two movies called Halloween, these are the two to watch. But I believe on our next show, I might quickly go through the other movies and just do some breakdowns on those. Nonetheless, make sure you guys watch Halloween 1 and 2. Yeah, so that's something I'm going to bring up, E-Man. I don't know for sure, Wayne, but I think it probably was supposed to be the end. And of course, just like with Friday the 13th and everything else, when they make a lot of money, they try and capitalize. The thing, so just to touch on what E-Man said, because I agree with him, because part 3 wasn't bad. It was just the title of it. That shouldn't have been called Halloween. I think that movie gets a bad rap simply because it was called Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. If it was just called Season of the Witch and not associated with Halloween at all, people would remember it more fondly, I think. I actually really enjoy that movie. I think it's pretty damn good. Robert's blowing my mind right now. He says, believe it or not, Bill, it's the same mask as used in the first movie. It looks different for various reasons. Well, let's break that down. So they styled the hair, and then I'm guessing there was a different actor that played Michael Myers, which filled it out differently, giving it some different shape. What about the eyes? Why can't I see more of his eyes in this one? That's really tripping me out, man. Tracy says, I can live with the sequels, whether good or bad, except 3. The second actor was shorter and more stocky, so it fit the head differently. That makes sense. I wonder why they screwed with the hair, though. That still deserves an explanation. This is good trivia, Robert. The original Michael used to keep the mask in his back pocket during takes, which would make the hair more messy. Wow. I know a lot about these movies, and I really didn't know that. I just always assumed it was a different mask. The mask was also kept in someone's home between movies. That person was a heavy smoker, which caused discoloration. Jesus. I wonder why they didn't get the same actor from the first film. I wish I had some pictures ready for like Halloween 3, 4. Season of the Witch is not a bad movie. It's pretty original. It's got Tom Atkins, which is amazing. If you watched horror films in the 80s, you know who Tom Atkins is. Yeah. Only seen first 3, H2O, and the remakes. Dude, E-Man, you gotta watch part 4. Part 4 is good. Yeah, Tracy, you're correct. They are doing a reboot, and Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be involved somehow. And Danny McBride actually is like the co-writer of the script, and John Carpenter signed off on it and said it's exactly what he envisioned out of a remake. So, like, he said they really capture like what Halloween's all about. So I'm excited. Danny McBride's a talented guy. Jamie Lee Curtis belongs in Halloween. And that's due out next year, so that could be cool. Wayne wants to hear Jamie Lee Curtis scream. Let me see if I can get that. There you go. Good shit. E-Man, you should definitely watch Halloween 4. The problem is it's hard to find, believe it or not. I searched Vudu and like Google Play and stuff. I think you can buy on Amazon though. Amazon Video, so check it out. Part 5 is definitely weaker. I wish I knew how to describe it. They're like the opening to Halloween 4 is so perfect. I deleted it, Delana. Best to just move on from that. Wasn't my best chat, and not everyone appreciated, some of the subject matter. So, and I agree. I just want to move on from it. It's gone. Going back to how things normally are around here. Yeah, they are usually on AMC. That's where I just caught Halloween 4 again, was during their Halloween marathon. All right, Wayne, I hope you heard that scream. Anyway, thanks, guys, for joining. Chris and I are going to go do our fantasy football show. Get that done real quick. The link is in chat. If any of you want to continue chatting tonight, just come over and we'll talk about football instead of Halloween. And if there's no more questions, I think we'll wrap it up here. Good. I'm glad you liked it. You know what? I enjoy talking about scary movies. So I'm glad there's a few people out there that appreciated it. Maybe we'll do it again in the future. So until then, I think we'll just be back normal time on Tuesday with the boys. Just doing some normal chat, all right? Come join us on the Fantasy Football channel, Fantasy Football Not Suitable for Work. And until next time, guys, thank you.